Alright, what is up guys, Darsh here, and today I'm going to be showing you multidimensional arrays. So, we know what arrays are, they're just, int that. But what a multidimensional array is an array of arrays. So it might sound weird at first, but let me show you what I mean. So, let's have a multidimensional array, or a 2D array at least. Multidimensional, they can go on forever. But to keep it simple, let's talk about 2D arrays. So 2D arrays, you want to make it, and then you give it a name, so test equals, and in this case you want to have an array of arrays, right? So that's, you put one big bracket, and then you can have multiple smaller brackets on the inside. So let's do a 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And basically this is an array of array, right? And when we're printing this out, we want to do rows and columns. So columns go up and down, rows go left to right, right? So when we're printing these out, I'll just show an example and I'll explain it more in detail after. So you want to have a nested for loop, meaning for loop inside of for loop. So first, it'll control the rows, so row equals 0, and it'll be test.length, r++. I'll explain more what's going on after I type all this. After you have this, oops, r is less than that. After you type this, you want to do the columns also, and instead of being test, it will be test0.length. Of a column. Oops, 0. R's become C's. I don't know why I did that. C++. And then basically now you want to print out the array. This just traverses through the array and prints it out in a organized fashion. So it should just be print. And we want to print out test at a certain row and at a certain column. Right, and then after you do this, you want to do new line here, ln, and after this program runs, we should see, oh yeah, I forgot the space. You should see that it prints out the 2-dimensional array, separated by rows by columns. So whenever we do this, we're actually, doing this, creating arrays of arrays. And those are separated by rows and columns, right? So the first for loop, basically what it does, it goes through every row. This thing increments by every column, so it starts at row 0, it goes 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Then it goes to the next row, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. And that's pretty much how this works. And if you do test 0, that does test, it finds the length of one column, right? So in this case it's a 3x3, so it doesn't matter. But if I change it to a 4 maybe, or something like that, or if I put a 5, I guess, do something like that, then the column length would be different from the row length. So in case that happens. So basically this is a general form for printing out or going through a 2D array. This thing right here. And another way you can create 2D arrays is by doing this. Whoops. Goes new int. And this is just to create an empty array, so similar to when you're creating a normal array, if you know the sizes and like the things that go inside, you would do this, right? But if I don't know the sizes, but I do know the dimensions of the array. So I want to have, rows also always go first, and columns are always next. So I want to have a, let's just do a, let me think. Let's just do a 8 by, let's just do a 1 by 10, or 10 by 10. And this will give us all, let's just create a program that gives us all the multiples of 10, right? Gives us a multiplication table. So basically, we just initialize an array that's empty, right? And if you want to just print out the array, you can't do arrays.toString. However, you can, because it's arrays of an arrays, right? So you have to do arrays.deep toString, and that prints out all the arrays within this array. In this case, our thing's called nt, and when we print that out, it prints out all the arrays. So we have 10 arrays, or inside this we have 10 arrays, if that makes sense. So we have 10 arrays with 10 in each one. So basically now we want to print through all these, or we're going to assign values to all these, right? So the way you would assign values would be creating two for loops, just like the one we did earlier. So I'll just copy these, since it's already made for us. So once you go through the rows and columns, in this case it would be nt. So I'm going to replace, or I guess, yeah, replace these with nt. And this gets the nt column, each columns, and these gets the rows, assuming that they're different. Let's just say you want 9, just to show that they're actually different. So now I have multiples from 0 to 9 that go to 10. Okay. In this case, we want to assign, before we print out the rows and columns, we want to assign values to them. So nt row times, or that equals row times columns, and that's how a multiplication table works. So when we print this out, it should print it out pretty nicely. So as you can see, it prints out where 0, all the multiples of zeros, all the multiples of ones, all the multiples of I don't know what I'm saying, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes until the 8th position, because 0 array started 0, and it goes until the 8th multiple, because or columns also start at 0, so it's arrays of arrays. But let's say you want to skip the 0 column, and you want to just do 1 through 9, right? In this case, what you want to do is just add 1 to rows and columns when you're doing the program. So when it starts at 0, it becomes 1, and so on. So now when we run the program, it does 1 through 9 and 1 through 10. That's basically it. So for 2D arrays, the main uses would be for things that require a kind of like a coordinate system layout. It's much more easier to see, or anytime you need a collection of arrays within an array, such as like a tic-tac-toe board, some games that I'm thinking about, Connect 4, maybe if you need multiplication tables. Next we're going to be talking about 3D arrays. So 3D arrays are basically arrays of 2D arrays. And the way that works is having braces. You can have as many as you want without go to next dimension of array, next dimension array. There aren't many reasons for having a 3D array. So we can try this, calling it 3D array equals to new, and the int we put the numbers inside. Basically on the inside, what we would do is we specify the length, width, and height, pretty much, right? So we want to do, we have a 6-sided shape that's 6 by 6. Let's just say it's a cube, right? In this case, and in the case that we want to loop through, there's not really a way to make it look 3D. So, but we can get through every number inside this. So in this case, we're going to do int w, which meaning width. Well, you go through the height first. So width, and then h is less than dot length, and then h++. And then let's create this 2 more times at least, reference different name each time. So width would be next, and then length. And basically we can multiply all these numbers together. I can't really think of a practical reason for 2D arrays, so that's why I'm just multiplying them together. But TD at, they work the same way. I'm just trying to show an example. So they work the same way as 2D arrays. I missed every single one. How did that happen? There we go. Equals H times W times L, and basically do that, and then you want to print this out, plus a space, and after each one you want to have a space. We'll just copy this. Okay, so once we run this, you can see we have a 2D array full of, right, oh, I think I messed up. Maybe we don't do 3 times. Oh, I did print ln, that's why, my bad. Okay, there you go. Now everything's in one row. So basically you have 6 by 6, 6 by 6, 6 by 6, 6 by 6, 6 by 6 for all the faces pretty much. So think of like a cube. For each face corresponds with this. So like if you think about a 3D cube, each one of these would be one of the faces, right? And yeah, so that's pretty much it for multidimensional arrays. 2D arrays are pretty useful, but 3D arrays, they have limited applications. I guess maybe one application could be a Rubik's Cube, you know, having different colors, and somehow having the programs correspond anytime you need to work with 3D objects. And there are like 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional, up to the max number integer arrays, or any array technically, and each one of them would work the same way. And 2-dimensional arrays work with any other primitive data types, including non-primitive like strings. So that'll be my tutorial, and thanks for watching. Peace.